And then Peter the Great. Um, I think it was Peter the First. I think he was the first one. Um, he was the Tsar of Russia. So this is actually going all the way back to the early in your seventh grade year when you had the Caesars. So this is Julius Caesar's title that gets passed down to his nephew Octavius, who was Caesar Augustus. They just used the word Caesar, and they considered themselves, the Russians considered themselves to be the heirs of the Roman Empire. So they are the second Roman Empire. So that's why they had the word Tsar, which is just they were the king. He was trying to westernize Russia. He was trying to move them into the modern era, and by modern I mean like barely into the beginning of like, well, it's not even industrialization yet. We don't even have factories yet. Um, he literally had a beard tax. This is one of the things that's a bit troubling about being a absolute monarch. He's decided, Russians look weird with beards. I'm going to make everybody shave. And he came back from a tour of Europe and literally shaved people, like his friends. He grabbed them. He said, grab them by the beard and cut off their beard. And this is in a time when having a beard was a sign of your manliness. It was you're not a grown man if you don't have a beard. And here he is shaving people just to make them look more European. And it was scandalous. But he was the absolute monarch, so he could. It's a little tricky. It's one of those things. It seems silly, like, oh, you're just shaving somebody's beard. That's kind of funny. But it'd be a little weird if the president of the United States walked into my house and said, hey, you've got a beard, you got to shave it. It's a little like, who are you? Well, if you're Peter the Great, you can do it, and people have to do it. So he liked Europe. So westernizing Russia was making it more like Europe, because Europe had advanced, and Russia was still, they were behind. They were very much still in the Middle Ages, the medieval period. Europe was moving forward. They had a lot more. They had the beginnings of science and the Renaissance. Russia did not participate in the Renaissance. The only thing they could do was purchase. If you were the king, or if you had a nobleman with a lot of money, you could bring a European artist in to copy a little bit of the Renaissance in Russia. But they really didn't participate in it. They imported a couple of things, and that was it. They were well behind. He simplified the alphabet, the Cyrillic alphabet. This is why their language looks weird to us. They have things like a backwards looking R. It's part of their language. There's stuff like that. And he said, hey, we need newspapers. So he made them like, hey, you're going to have a newspaper now. Okay, all right. Seems a little weird. And he moved into a new capital. He left Moscow and created St. Petersburg. Built it out of nothing. He built his own capital, like from scratch. Which again, like Louis, when he says, I am France, Peter says, I'm Russia. Wherever I am, that's where the government is. So I'm going to go to this new town, and y'all are going to build it, and you're going to like it. And I guess he was right.